So it's been a hot minute since I've last talked about Aaron Schwenke or Aaron Schwanke from Bat in the Sun, the same Aaron who threatened to sue me because he didn't like a video I made about him and I wouldn't give him an interview and I left him on red, so he was deeply offended by that. But it turns out that Aaron has been in his own legal problems with this IP that he's been trying to get off the ground called Space Bears. Now, what the hell is Space Bears, you ask? Well, think of it like as a discount Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets the Care Bears, or Temu TMNT, or Temu Space Bears, that Aaron has been trying to create for the longest time. And when you ask me, well, how long has he been trying to create this for? Well, this was the Instagram page they've got still active, and it looks like it was made all the way back in 2018. And then 2018 and then 2019 is when he planned on sort of making it a book. So this Space Bears project was Aaron's sort of children's book that he wanted to get off the ground, inspired by things like TMNT and Care Bears and stuff like that, and I guess Star Trek because they're in space. I don't know. But it looks like Aaron has been trying to make his own little kids book series for the longest time. I mean, there was even a Kickstarter page for it all the way back in the day, many, many years ago. So this is their Kickstarter page that they've got, so let's read it. So, because this is new to me, like he posted this a while ago and this is all new to me, so let's read it. The Space Bears are a team of 5 members with environmental superpowers. 3 of them, Blizzard, Redwood, Prism, are actually bears. The 2 other are the Everest the panda and Shelby the koala. Well, koalas aren't actually bears, Aaron, sorry to break it to you. A little bit of research goes a long way away. Despite the 2 of them being different, they all share the same goals and embrace the name Space Bears. The story focuses on the youngest member, Shelby, and her journey of self-discovery while trying to fit in under the guise of a wise old scientist, Papa Growl. The Space Bears travel the galaxy trying to restore and protect planets that need help. This sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. However, along the way they run into the evil Phorbibus and the Royal Crush. Soon, adventures await filled with action and heart-filled emotional rescues. Originally created back in 1992, oh god, he's had this idea for that long. Originally created back in 1992, the Space Bears were the Space Bears' first officially published debut is finally here. So they go, why is this so important? So it was going to be a book. Alright, so why crowdfund this book? Because Aaron and crowdfunding are really interesting words, especially if you go back to Legend of the White Dragon when they say, we want to be in control. Oh, it's in the hands of our distributors, we can't do anything about it. So, having this book crowdfunded is a great way for you, our fans, and the creators here at Bat in the Sun to connect, because your support helps us get the book made. We want to share a once opportunity with you to get in on the first publication and the appearance of Space Bears. We believe this project is going to start something special, and crowdfunding is a great platform to make this happen. Originally created back in 1992, the Space Bears official debut, jump on and grab this official collector's item. So, it sounds like Aaron has always been trying to make his own IP for the longest time, whether it's Space Bears, him pitching ideas for Boom about comics, him sort of being so butthurt about his OG Do Not Steal Green Ranger design being stolen by Boom Studios and Saban. He's always wanted to have his own IP that I guess people can look back and be like, wow, Aaron created that. That's so cool. And now the future of Legend of the White Dragon is in his messy, messy hands. We've created the book, but we need your help to finish the rest. Just look at these amazing pages. So they already had the book created. That's interesting. So here's the pages of it. Who are the creators? Aaron and his dad. JP Pinto was the artist who worked on this. Now, I looked up JP Pinto's artwork, and I gotta say, pretty cool. Did some really great Marvel artwork. Will say that. What were the rewards? what were the rewards for this back in the day? $30 for a hardcover copy of the book and the original song featured in the story. $50, you get a shirt and all the rewards above. $60, you get pins and all the rewards above. $100, you get a poster, a hardcover signed by Sean and Aaron, and all the rewards above. So it seemed like a pretty, I will say that seemed like a reasonable Kickstarter price. How much were they asking for back in the day? And they wanted to fund. I don't know what their original goal was, but they made $9,000 to bring this project to life. Did anything happen about this? How much were they wanting? It couldn't be a lot. Knowing Aaron, it was probably a lot. Wait, okay, they had goals. So they had goals met. They wanted $5,000 for the 40-page exciting book, $25,000 for a motion comic starring special star guest voices. And the guest voices that Aaron wanted for this or had on board for this was really interesting. One of them was Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange. And then, I don't know her name, but she voices Rogue in X-Men the Animated Series. And I think she recorded lines for that. I'm not entirely sure. Nothing's been confirmed. But I'm sure audio or lost media is out there for that. All right, so there was an IDW page that did say that Rogue's voice actress was involved in this. But, after, Henry covered this and the IDW page sort of went on board, it got taken down, within the week. I was looking at this a week ago. And now it's taken down because I had to sort of bring up my old browser to sort of history to sort of look for it. But error 404, where's the page, Lebowski? Where's the page? So yeah, it's gone. So Henry got a couple of emails that there was more to Space Bears than meets the eye. And one of the big revelations we learned is that there was an animated feature for it. So this is the studio's LinkedIn page, and this is what they actually worked on for the Space Bears thing. Now, despite me calling this Temu Ninja Turtles or Discount Ninja Turtles Meet Care Bears, I will say, looking at this animation, it does look pretty smooth, I will say that much. So, watching it now, the animation looks, I will admit, pretty smooth. It doesn't look AI, it's not jank. It looks pretty fluid, like an actual animation studio put some love and care into it. Now, this is the post Dragon Studio made 10 months ago. So, over the years, for a multitude of reasons, most animation studios end up working on a project for more than one reason or another don't get to see the light of day. That is true. It's an incredibly frustrating situation as artists pour their time, heart, and souls into the work, and they have to let it die on a shelf, and it's hugely disappointing. We at Laughing Dragon Studios are not immune to this, unfortunately. However, we are lucky to work with producers who, being artists themselves, understand they need to show off what they've worked on, and with that we are able to present a small unfinished peek at an untitled, unreleased 2D feature we spent 2 years on, and that being the Space Bears thing that we saw earlier. So, this is what it looks like, and I will say it looks pretty smooth, it looks pretty great. So this Laughing Dragon Studio stuff over in Canada actually put out some decently looking stuff. So that's that. We'll go over there. Let's look at the post that, not the post, the text messages that Henry got. So I'm mostly going to read the person who was emailing Henry's responses, and I'll go off what Henry asked them. So this is what Henry got a while ago from messaging these people back and forth. And this is one thing we learned. So, Space Bears, it was a full animation studio. About 80 people worked on the project for almost 2 years, and it was funded by Chris J and government tax credits. That's interesting. They were about 70% done with the film before Aaron rewrote the film. Classic Aaron rewriting things. Aaron demanded the studio to redo more than half the animation to fit his rewrites. Jeez. Jeez. When the studio said no, that they would finish the film as already agreed to, they stopped payments and killed the movie. So, because Aaron's demands would not be met, he stopped payments and funding for the movie and killed it. That's freaking insane. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, Aaron not getting what he wants, he goes on this sort of petty path of sort of like trying to sabotage people. Like he did it to me when I wouldn't interview him. Like he threatened to sue me, and then he posted my face all over his Facebook page, trying to send his fans to attack me and send death threats to me and stuff like that, trying to spook me into taking down the video. Like, if Aaron doesn't get what he wants, his tactics go really freaking dirty from what I've seen and from what I've heard so far. The production itself was insane, with Aaron missing every single delivery he promised and was late by months. So Aaron was not paying this studio on time when they were working on this project. That doesn't surprise me as well. But it was a fully fleshed out film, almost done, with a cast that included Benedict Cumberbatch. Like I said, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange himself was going to be working on this. And that's kind of an A-list actor, whether it's Avengers or stars in the UK or Britain. That's a big name. That's a big name. I worked on it for a year. So the animator worked on it for a year. So I think Henry asked if there was more to this, but unfortunately we don't have a lot of information. I wish I do, but I heard it. I wish I did, but I heard they settled in the end when the studio sued. I don't know what happened after that. We were told the project was dead. So yeah, it looks like the project was dead, but I think it was posted on their LinkedIn. Well, it was posted on their LinkedIn, so basically it can be a resume for the people who worked on that project. I'm under NDA, and the studio guys were good to us, so I don't want to get anyone into trouble. So that's when Henry asked anyone for an interview or someone for an interview. The total budget for the project was 18 million Canadian, and whatever they put into voices, I'm sure all in it was over 10 million. Yeah, having Doctor Strange in there, that would have set you back a couple of Canadian dollary dues. So let's read the next screenshot. The case was filed in Quebec in December of 2024, I think. They settled in January. Part of the settlement was we were allowed to use parts of the movie in our portfolio. So yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier. We did some gorgeous work on the film. Until then, we couldn't show anything. So that makes sense why they could show it. I know a lot about what went on during that time, as we joked about it in the office. Like this is the part that blew my mind, if it's true. Like the last reshoot Aaron did for Legend of the White Dragon was mostly so you could have a sex scene in there. I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. What? Aaron supposedly, allegedly wanted to have a sex scene in Legend of the White Dragon, and that's what one of the reshoots were. That is insane. That is insane if that is true. That's insane. Will we see that on the Blu-ray of Legend of the White Dragon if it ever comes out in the deleted scenes? Will that scene actually be in the movie? That's freaking whack. It was Laughing Dragon Studios, now known as Sadfish. That is true. I looked them up online. Laughing Dragon Studios now goes by Sadfish. I know that everyone was basically taking advantage of Chris J, who seemed like the nicest guy in the one time I saw meeting him. Chris was paying Scott Kennedy to help sell the film, which isn't how distributors work. They also brought Scott Mendick, who Chris was also paying. Chris brought them on to try and control Aaron. Yeah, I guess they needed an Aaron wrangle with everything going on. And Chris was paying Aaron a salary the whole time too. That's interesting. So I believe Henry asked, how does distributors work for something like this? And this is what they said. You don't pay a distributor or a distribution agent. A distributor advances you money because he believes in the film and takes it out to market. He makes his money on the back end, not in advance. My partner works for a distributor here in Canada. Okay. So someone in the industry that knows. That's one thing Aaron will say to you if you act like you, or you question what's going on. Aaron will say, well, you're not in the industry. You wouldn't know anything. You're not in the industry. You don't know anything. You might have worked on silly projects in your backyard, but you're not in the industry. Kennedy sold them the idea of a theatrical release, but never got any bites. I think this is for Legend of the White Dragon. Kennedy sold them the idea of I said it earlier, theatrical release, but never got any bites. Mendig said the film was a mess and tried to get a better edit, but they were all taking money from Chris J and trying to milk it for as long as possible. Before Laughing Dragon did work on the film, they did try to hire a company in India to do a 3D version, which was the most soulless thing Wait a minute, 3D version. Is this it? Is this it? Is this the 3D version? Because that would check out. That would check out. Like, this is 3D. That might check out. That might check out. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Something about India. Let's see. Something about India. I'm keeping this in, which was the most soulless thing I've ever seen. After us, they were going to try and do it in India again. I know there was 4 reshoots for Legend of the White Dragon. Was one of them the sex scene? I do wonder. So then, I can't remember what Henry asked for this one, but basically they said, not from what I've heard. I think an offer on the table was there that they didn't like. Legend of the White Dragon is done, just sitting there. They could release it to backers tomorrow and bring it to film festivals or Comic-Cons, and it wouldn't hurt their distribution chances if it's good. It would help. That's what festivals are for. That's true. That's what film festivals are there for. To sell your film to someone who would want to take it, who would want to have it. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Aaron's sort of saying, oh, the distributors are doing something with it. It's in the hands of them. People worked really hard on Space Bears, and the running gag on The Office is we will polish it on a turd, but it would have been a gorgeous film to look at. I'm sad that our work will never be seen. Thinking anything I can remember. Okay, what one was that for? So I'm thinking of anything I can remember. Okay, that's where the messages do end over there. But yeah, that's pretty much everything when it comes to Aaron and his lawsuit that apparently went down over Space Bears. But not only that, it does sort of paint what's going on with Legend of the White Dragon, where Aaron might say, we don't know about how distributors work, but it looks like this person who sent Henry the emails knows how a distributor works, and we'll probably see where that's going to go moving forward. But anyway, guys, I think I'll wrap up this video. It's been me rambling into a mic for about 20 minutes now, with some awkward edits here and there, so we'll see what happens. But with that said, I will catch you guys later.